The following 6 stories are as true as they are bizarre, but one in particular may just be blurring the lines between reality and fiction a bit too much. That is to say, 5 of these stories are true and 1 is false. Do you have what it takes to spot the knot? Number 1. Margaret Bell, who kept bees in Light Warden, about 7 miles from her home in Ludwell, Shropshire, in England, died in June of 1994. Soon after her funeral, mourners were amazed to see hundreds of bees settle on the corner of the street opposite the house where she had lived for 26 years. The bees stayed for an hour before buzzing off the rooftops. The local press ran a photograph of the bees hanging on the wall in a cluster. Number 2. On December 11th, 2002, 2 motorists called police to report seeing a car veering off the A3 trunk road with headlights blazing at Burton in Surrey. A thorough search uncovered a car concealed in dense undergrowth and a long-dead driver nearby. It turned out the crash had actually happened 5 months earlier when the driver, Christopher Chandler, had been reported missing by his brother. Number 3. Laura Buxton released a helium-filled balloon during celebrations for her grandparents' gold wedding anniversary in Blurton, Staffordshire, in June of 2001. Attached to the balloon was her name and address and a note asking the finder to write back. 10 days later, she received a reply. The balloon had been found by another Laura Buxton in the garden hedge of her home in Pusey, Wiltshire, 140 miles away. Both Lauras were aged 10 and both had 3-year-old black Labradors, a guinea pig, and a rabbit. Number 4. Young Jimmy Walker, aged 11, of Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, was out on a walk in his quaint little neighborhood in 1991. While strolling along, he came across another young boy who urged him to follow him along a dirt path in a wooded area. After some time, they came across a loudly barking puppy who had chased a small squirrel up a tree. It turns out that a nearby family had lost the puppy just days before. However, Jimmy's friend, who led them to the pup, was never seen or heard from again. Number 5. A 9-year-old Chinese girl was playing in Songjian near Shanghai in July of 1992 when she was carried off by a whirlwind and deposited unhurt in a treetop almost 2 miles away. According to a wire report from May of 1986, a freak wind lifted up 13 children in the oasis of Hami in western China and deposited them unharmed in sand dunes and scrubs 12 miles away. Number 6. Gloria Ramirez, age 31, died of kidney failure at Riverside General Hospital, California in February 1994, after being rushed there with chest pains. Emergency room staff were felled by fumes when a blood sample was taken. A strange oily sheen on the woman's skin and unexplained white crystals in her blood were reported. A doctor suffered liver and lung damage and bone necrosis. At least 23 other people were affected. One hypothesis was that Ramirez, who had had cervical cancer, had taken a cocktail of medicines that combined to make an insecticide, an organophosphate, but tests yielded no results. So, out of all these stories, which one stood out to you as a tall tale, rather than truth or reality? If you had guessed number 4, the tale about Jimmy Walker and his ghost friend, you'd be right. This tale was completely fabricated. All others remain true.